Let's fight! Let's fight, folks! Welcome in the ring, folks. Welcome in the ring to each and every one of you. Let's fight, let's fight, let's fight, let's fight, let's fight, let's fight. It's fight time, guys. Stay alive. Smash that emoji button. We trust that you beautiful, lovely folks are hearing us loud and clear. Let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear. Please, let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear. Let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear. We want to be heard loud and clear. Welcome in the ring, folks. Welcome in the ring. Gotta ensure I'm hitting this new bell just right. Welcome in the ring, folks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Take some power. Boots on the ground. It's Friday night. We're fired up and ready to go. Alexis Douglas, good to have you. Take some power, folks. Take some power. Dishon Alexander, take some power. Take some power, folks. Take some power. Good to have each and every one of you here. Iban Lamy, good to have you here. John Raymond, good to have you here. Earl Walcott, good to have you here. Lena Jacobs, Gail Ali Cook, Delroy Bumbery. Y'all like my Kelal story. Share the live, folks. Smash that emoji button. And please, please ensure you partner with us. It's the end of the month, folks. We got our responsibilities to meet, to keep going, to stay on air, and to keep moving forward. Pace, 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 and power. Good to have you folks like Wilma Grant, Earl Walcott, Roxanne Dessa Jacobs, Mortimer Timothy Reynolds, Karen McDonald, Winston Kilkelly, Kesh Sharma. Pace and power. Good to have you folks. Love having you guys here. You know who dropping by? Rickford Burke, the one and only. We're going to be talking about Anil and the FBI. Anil and the FBI. We're going to be talking about them. Good to have you folks here. Pace and power. Please and thank you, Dan Fordyce. All the other guys joining us. Ensure that you are shared to all the right places. We're going to ensure we are shared to all the right. We're going to ensure we are shared to all the correct places as well, guys. We are so happy, so happy, so happy that you wonderful, beautiful folks are here with us. Final show for the week, but we're going down to first gear. Fifth gear, full speed ahead, folks. Not like the reckless people who drive in Georgetown, though. Full speed ahead nonetheless. Share the live, folks. Smash that emoji button for us. Wherever around the world you folks are joining us from. Smash that emoji button. And we're going to be patching through to some other pages, some other places, some other sources. We are so thankful for you folks. So thankful, folks. We hear a lot of things, but the schools catch grant. We hear a lot of students' name being taken off for all kinds of nefarious and frivolous reasons. In school catch grant, what is happening here? Priya, Malik Chan, your name calling. Priya, your name calling. Yep. All of those who are joining us, folks, welcome in the ring. We are so privileged that each and every one of you are here with us. Good to have you folks tonight. Fight night, guys. Final fight for the week. Yep, and all we have following is the podcast. Share the damn live, man. Smash that emoji button and let's get to it. Good to have you folks here. Each and every one of you. We're fired up, guys, and we are ready to go. We ain't taking no prisoners. Please and thank you. We ain't taking no prisoners. Gail Giles, Colin Roberts, Carol Hudson, Sweetness Mothers, Junior Gibbs, Everett Small, good to have you. Charles Nelson, good to have you folks. Pace and power. Mr. Chisel Chipper, pace and power. Guys, good to have you here. We're fired up and we're ready to go. Share the live, folks. Smash that emoji button. Come on, don't have me look out here looking thin. Don't got us out here looking thin. Smash that emoji button, folks. We're fired up. Fitzherbert Jarrett joining us from Berbice, all the way from Connecticut, joining us. We're so happy he's here. So happy he's home, quote unquote. Enjoy yourself. Please and thank you. Enjoy yourself. Good to have you, Don Barnes, Randolph, Benjamin, and all the other guys. Oren Marks joining us. Pace and power. Good to have you, folks. Good to have you, folks. Gloria Gordon, how are you doing? Emily Soto. Good to have you, folks. Share the live. Smash that emoji button, folks. Coming up. You one and only Rickford Burke is going to be joining us. But we got some things on the fight card we want to share with you, beautiful folks. We got some things, Marine Chester Paul, Chichester, Vaughan May Wilson, and Kearns. How you folks doing now? We trust you guys are hearing us loud and clear. Joan Holden, Pinky Vaughn, Cicely Weeks, and Patricia Kisoon. We trust. Mr. Hunt, Nebuan Queen. Good to have you. Rosamund David, how you doing? Good to have you, folks. We want to wish all you guys a happy early emancipation, an early happy emancipation. Charles Nelson and all the other guys, Donna Liverpool and Adrian Saunders. Good to have you. Beryl Crawford. I see Veronica. Prima Rollins is here as well, folks. Folks, remember, we've had a full month. We have had a full month of broadcasting. We have done about 68 shows for the month. Give and take a 2 we may have missed, but we've done a lot. We've done about 60. You know, if we've missed a podcast or 2, let's average we've done about 60. That costs us quite something, folks, to produce so that you guys continue to get valid and credible information. That is why we ask that you partner with us, folks. We don't want to say it in a braggadocious way. We don't. But that's one of the reasons why we ask that you guys partner with us, so that we can continue to move forward, folks. We are ready to take on August. We are ready to take on the challenges, however they come, how myriad they be, folks. We are ready. We're fired up, and we are ready to take on each and every one of those challenges. And we're so privileged that you guys are here with us. So remember, as you're doing your budgeting, partner with us, folks. Patient Power. Y'all know we're on Zelle and PayPal and Cash App. MMG as well. MoneyGram and Western Union. Don't come around with funny. And if you want to know how you can do this, folks, please WhatsApp us 627-6963. 627-6963. And we're ready to get on the fight card, folks. We are ready. Patient Power. We are ready. We are ready to get on the fight card. Patient Power. How you folks in Bernadette Lewis? Good to have you. Pretty Milicia, Marcia Wiles, and Ronnie Carter. Some of y'all got some nice name, man. Ronnie Carter. Bernadette Lewis, good to have you. Adrian Saunders joining us from the CCJ. Blondies Barker, Lois McKenzie, Candy Lillian, Alana Tang, Port Kaitum in the house, live and direct. Out and loud, Lennox Simple. Good to have you here. Sheena Hazel, and all you other beautiful, fantastic folks from around the world. You guys are joining us from Tioni and Atala. Good evening, Atala. Beautiful Atala. Love to have your number, Atala. How you doing? Good to have you, folks. Carmen Bailey, Mavis Daviswell, Barbara, Erica Hooper, Mike Adams is here as well. Bentley Edwards is here. Good to have you, folks. Fired up, guys. And we are ready to go on the microphone card as we have discussed tonight. Colin Roberts, Wilton Blue, good to have you and all the other folks joining us. You folks joining us on Twitter, we love having you guys. Give us a tweet, comment there so that we can see you guys and give you a shout out. Those of you who are joining us on YouTube, you know our YouTube audience is growing exponentially in comparison, for instance, to Twitter. Growing, it might never overtake Facebook because you know all the fast set of people on Facebook. How are we going to overtake y'all? Fast. You can never overtake fastness. You're too quick in people business. Vibert Johnson, let's fight. Vibert Johnson and all the other folks. Nicola Juiceberry, Alana Tang, good to have you. Alana said the red tie affecting a lot of people. You know, sometimes you got to wear the little red to ward off the bad eye. To ward off the bad eye. I think it's a little kind of wine-ish kind of thing. To ward off the little bad eye. But I ain't going no place, folks. I know myself and y'all know me. So we going no place. Don't get frightened. Ring the damn bell, things that Henry says. Ring the damn bell. You all like noise. Ravi Parsram. Good to see you, Ravi. Welcome to all of you. You don't have to agree with us, you know. Don't have to agree with us, but we can trust you. You can trust us on this. We can upset you. But you don't have to agree with us. We can upset you, especially when we start talking about the trench crappos and the jagabats, the tadpoles and the cricketers. Folks, my guest is already here. The guy is ready to fight. I want you come to put some lashes on Anil. And we're talking about the FBI. And I want to know who is this Texan congresswoman who run out talking and says, "Prof," as my grandmother used to say. Talking and said, we can ask him about that. But folks, let me hasten on so that fast I can get through the fight card, I can have my guest. And I told you already, folks, he's already here. The one and only President Rickford Burke. He's fired up and ready to go. I like the song of that, you know. President Rickford. We can get accustomed to that. Who vex we out here? Fight we. You like what we say? Fight we. Please and thank you, folks. We're coming in from around the world. Welcome in the ring to each and every one. If you're joining us on Twitter, we want to see some action on Twitter. Please and thank you. Pace and power. We want to see some movements on Twitter. Give us a retweet if you're joining us on Twitter. Please and thank you. We want to see what our Twitter audience is doing. We love having each and every one of you. And folks, we're coming into you this evening from around the world, good folks, from around the world. And we are so happy you guys are here with us. And I think we're picking this one up from, from around the region. That's where we're starting from. From around the region tonight, somewhere close to where you guys might be. And this is St. Kitts and Nevis. That's where we're starting from. I don't know how much of you follow the pageants and so on. But we know beauty when we see it, right? Rickford and I know beauty when we see it. We got an eye for it. So we saw this young lady here from St. Kitts and Nevis, and she's the 59th JC Queen. I know there's a big pageant in the region. Even some of our girls participate. Well, she walked away with everything. Nikira Nichols, NN. Nikira Nichols, she walked away with everything, folks. Let me give you some of the categories quickly that Nikira won. We want to wish her all the best. Pace and power. Yep, we want to wish her all the very best as she moves forward. And I'm going to grab that for you just a second. Hold up, man. Hold up, we all hurrying going. I want to grab it quickly for you guys. Y'all in a hurry, you know. It's the things. It's not y'all. It's the things. Yep, and as I said, she walked away with the best interview, best swimsuit, best talent, best body, best modeling skin, best modeling skills in evening wear, and most true to the theme of the 59th Miss JC's pageant there. Nikira Nichols from St. Kitts and Nevis. We want to big up all of our folks who view us from St. Kitts and Nevis. Right now, I got a house guest from St. Kitts and Nevis. He's pure problems, I want it. 7 years old, a lot of problems. House guest from St. Kitts and Nevis. Plenty problems. We want to say respect and manners to Miss Nikira Nichols there from St. Kitts and Nevis. And we know good beauty when we see one, folks. Moving on to fight, can you see? Think I'm about sleep. We got royalty now, miss. I wonder why the state media, NCN, Chronicle, and Newsroom, and them other boys, not making a big fuss. Folks, we got some African royalty with us. Real African royalty, not play. Right? I know some of y'all, you know, adorn yourselves as African queens and so on. This is the real deal. Right? Them bestowed on themselves through the lineage. They can trace back their lineage to hundreds of years ago and being descendants of royalty in Africa there. And we have some of them visiting us from what the place name? Some of them visiting us from Africa. And they paid a courtesy call on the mayor. Yep. Mayor Ubraj Narain receive a contingent of these African dignitaries, royalty folks. We have a queen with us and the king, and it's very interesting how Africa has been able to incorporate this kind of royal system into modern day democratic norms and so on. They've done it beautifully, much like the British. Done it beautifully. They have a full democratic system, but yet they've incorporated the royal families there beautifully in what they do there in Africa. We say welcome and enjoy. This is where some of us came from, and we come for betterment. Some of us were actually brought. You know, some of y'all think we are stunting for food and, you know, eating in the garbage cans and all kinds of foolishness hundreds of years ago. Not so. We are descendants from royalty. Come on. Pay attention now. Pay attention. So we want to say respect and manners and welcome. You guys have the keys to the city. I hope the mayor give you all the keys to the city, or we got to go back and we got to do it right. But welcome, and we say enjoy. Enjoy all that is Guyana. All that is Guyana. Please enjoy to the fullest. We love having you guys here. Yep. Royalty, folks. Don't come around with funny, right? From now, you got to address me as your Royal Highness. I'm the descendant of royalty. Please and thank you. Please and thank you, good people. We're moving on to the fight card because I want to have Rickford. FYI, a lot of things happening, you know. And y'all better pay attention in South Rhinebeck, right where the minister who is responsible for infrastructure, Minister of Works, you know, Bishop, he lives in South, well, the roads there, the residents, that's when the residents got to call we, right? They say, Sherrod, the roads here need some work. Could you help us to highlight? Right? And they tell us it's right by Tocqueville Bridge. Right, Bishop? So you're passing through, going down for checking your parishioners and so on. The road there is deteriorating very, very fast. Very, 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 very fast here. It's just as you approach Tocqueville Bridge on Aubrey Barker Street, they tell us. The roads there need fixing. FYI, Wanna Jill. FYI. Please and thank you. Folks, we're moving on in the fight card. Quickly, swiftly, I really want to talk to Rickford this evening. I like problems. I really want to talk to Rickford. Look, some of the things we're following. You see things some of y'all can't even explain. Some of the things that happen to you on a daily basis. It's things. You're unexplainable. It's in the ether. It's out there. It's the things. Yes, when you see some people operate, right, it's the things. Them boys gonna forget to make Mark Phillips acting president. It's the things. They sugar down to go meet the Americans. The things. They gone and they forgot to make Mark Phillips acting president. Exactly that, or I don't trust him. I don't want to think it's the latter. Even though it's highly likely, them boys don't even trust the shadow. It's the things. Here's some of what we saw today. 2 cars going good. Carmichael Street, Carmichael, and Kwamina Streets. Next thing you know, it's the things. You need heart in the city. How fast can you be driving to create this kind of dislocation in the city? How fast? In the city, where you should be taking every precaution. It's the things. You see, I don't see a comment from Ghana Spectator. It's Kwame Things Techie. Kwame Things done Techie. I see some comments there from Ghana Spectator. Who know? So this is what we saw at Carmichael and Kwamina Streets. You're going to be careful out there. Colleen Solomon, please be careful. John Ferguson, Volmay Wilson, Irvin Don Cook, Kwanamingo Keshama, John Liverpool. Please be careful. We begging y'all. It's the things. Right? Those of us who know the high power, we got one thing. Higher power. Right? But for them boys, when they shutting down, it's the things. Here's another scene we saw. You see what's trouble in the city this morning? This was coffee. Right? This man took a deep turn. He ended up overboard. You know. Y'all know Ashley driving crash up and so on. Ashley got a vehicle looking something similar to this here. Right? Something similar. Y'all know Ashley's driving crash up and so on. Y'all know? Right? Take a deep turn there. It's the things. You see the whole turn. The turn was like half mile wide. It's like the PVP. This is the PVP and the economy. Right? The economy going good. Granger going around the half-mile turn. Soon as they come in, crash up the whole economy. Here's the things, people. Here's the things. They even know what happened to them. 3 finance ministers, they got Kaulisar, former finance minister. Big Head Jack Dio, they're in there. Former finance minister. Charitables Ashney. Then it's the extremes with them, you know. All them they're in there. Economy crashing. It's the things. It's the things. It's too many things that they're going there with. It's too many. Folks, when y'all pray, when y'all need to pray at night, don't only pray for Rickford and me. Pray for this country. Right? He's the God of the city. Pray for this country. We beg y'all. The things taking me over. It's the things. Moving on the fight card, we say slow down and arrive alive. Slow down, please, and arrive alive. Moving on, some of y'all know it by heart. Manners and respect. We saw some things quite recently that brought us the same manners and respect. We saw the soldiers, among others, marching against trafficking in persons is important. I see the judiciary just after the FBI. Rickford and I are going to be talking about the FBI. He knows them well. We're going to be talking about that. Soon as the FBI meet with what the other one name? The AG. You see, they become so insignificant you can't even remember them now. Anil and Dilal. This is one of the things they discuss. They say we want to see more convictions where trafficking in persons concerned. We want to see more convictions. Soon as the people finish talking, the judiciary talking about trafficking in persons, and then you have this marshal. But we want to say respect and manners because we saw the soldiers there, we saw some other folks there, and we want to say respect and manners. We all got to do our part with this very this scourge in our society. People are trafficked, almost like slaves, folks. Respect and manners, and there's much more, of course, we have to do to raise awareness. I see the judiciary, as I said, the magistracy talking about persons who coming forward will not be prosecuted for immigration offenses and that kind of stuff, because we want to protect people, especially the category of people who get caught up in the human trafficking trade. So respect and manners to all those who participated, helping to raise awareness for a cause. Now, this is something else that we saw. We want to say respect and manners to Jerome Khan and the law firm that he represents, because a young man was sentenced to 3 years in prison for 16 grams of cannabis. 16 grams. Jerome Khan and his law firm intervened, fought on this young man's behalf. They were convinced that that sentence was too excessive, and they managed to bring it down to a 1 year suspended sentence. Suspended sentence. And I like this. I like this because, you know, this country coming to a point, Rickford, where unless you don't get money, you can't get justice, you know. But I want to say respect and manners to Jerome Khan and his law firm that pick up these cases and run with it. You know why? Because you just know the injustice. You just know the injustice that is being perpetuated. When the folks that shipped the 2 tons of cocaine to Belgium, was anybody ever passed through the courts for that, arrested, charged for that 2 tons of cocaine they shipped to Belgium? They shipped another set to the Netherlands. What about the ship that they find with all them containers of guns and ammunition? Was anybody ever prosecuted? But a young man who said he's using this thing for medicinal purposes, 16 grams of cannabis, 3 years, you want to waste away of his life. You see the wickedness in this country? You see the wickedness? All right. So respect and manners again to Jerome Khan, attorney at law, and his law firm, who took up the challenge of this case and came out shining. They went to the Court of Appeal, they made the arguments, and the Court of Appeal agreed with them. Pace and power. Pace and power, we want to say as well. We saw something else. And we want to say pace and power. The Guyanese embassy in Beijing, folks, was celebrating the ties with our Chinese partners there. 50 years of diplomatic relations with China. They had a full cultural program. Anytime I see Guyana being promoted genuinely on the world stage, not like with Sue Gate and Vice News and so, genuinely on the world stage, we're going to say kudos. And they had from all accounts, they had a fantastic program there in Beijing, a cultural program involving both Chinese and Guyanese in that program in our Beijing office. And I want to say, you know, respect and manners, pace and power. We got to keep promoting our country. Again, the folks said, don't get consumed and bogged down with just the oil resources. We got a tourism industry to develop and a whole host of other things. We got to rum and timber and a whole host of other stuff we can come here and enjoy. We can export and all that besides just oil and gas. And I want to say kudos to our Beijing office there. They're for pulling off that cultural piece. And well, of course, them boys. Of course, them boys. Y'all know how to stay. Rickford tell me every time Rickford call me. Rickford said them boys deponent. MS, and we mean medal of service. The deponent, sure, the deponent. Is Rickford again this one? The deponent. Look story here now. People get fed up with them, you know. I just talked with one elder, right? We live in, right? This is how people complaining. What's the use having a minister here? If there's no change in the quality of the roads, what is the purpose? Right? What is the purpose? And so we saw this here. Y'all know Ghana Daily News always off. Right? Here the headline here is, APNU AFC created development deficit before leaving office. Right? It's like when they got nothing else to talk about and they really want to make it in the news, blame APNU AFC. Right? But I'm telling you this, Rickford and others, Chinsing Henry, Rena Cummins, Vladimir Wilson, Myrtle Hines, and all the other folks, Petal Brown and is it Sardia Stitchman? All of you folks, the thousands of you who join us from around the world, share the time life, man. Smash the emoji button, partner with me, and let me go down the road. The citizens are fed up with them. Why think they calling local government elections? They'll be voted out resoundingly. The citizens are fighting with them. So this is what the headline read. After the AFC created developmental deficit before leaving office. Well, the comments they live in. This is the up top comment for tonight. Randy Singh said, you need to stop this nonsense. You need to stop the nonsense. You are there now and you have 1,000% more funds to do the work. Stop talking nonsense and focus on doing a proper job because now you have the resources. Now let me read it accurately, right? Because you now have the resources available. Stop talking nonsense. After left a developmental deficit. Randy, a smart citizen, saying they didn't have all the money y'all got now. Y'all got 1,000% more money. Shut your mouth and just do the work. Right? Just do the work. And from what the people telling me in Amelia's word, the bishop can't do the work. So, do the work, man. Shucks. That's the up top comment. I love it. Folks, share it down like, this is the thing you got to share. When citizens generally push back, you see the foolishness and like, I don't know if it's one of children got nothing else. You could put forward some street, you fix some big hole, you plug up or something like that to get some proper credit. You got to go and look back on the app to do left developmental deficit. It's a pack of lies too. A whole pack of lies. And the citizens know them and said, you need to stop the nonsense. That's the up top comment. Share the damn life, folks. Smash the emoji button. We're about to bust a vein here. Folks, I'm hastening on. I really want to have Rickford here, and we're pulling up on the half hour mark. Money got for Mac. That's why I want you all know money. You see, when I making me money, me want anybody come and tell me nothing, you know. I giving everybody a chance to make the money. Everybody critics James, but all of y'all make your money. Me say it. However, be chummy, do this, be that, you know. Whatever you want to do, make your money. All them boys, peeping otherwise. When I start making me money, buy me buildings, me Lamborghini and so on, don't come around me funny, you know. I gonna fight y'all. And I get a bigger bell. I ain't say bigger goalie. Bigger bell now for throw y'all chest. That's why I want y'all a bigger bell. Them people making sure they're out there looking good. But money got for Mac. That's why I want y'all know. And the people at Pretty Paul sing, they ain't having it. The people at Pretty Paul sing, they strike. That's how come them girls just come from Venezuela, Colombia, Nicaragua. It's like a whole pretty passion there, you know. Rickford, as the Trini say, Rickford, if you go there, Pretty Paul, you would like yourself. That's what Trini said. You would like yourself when you see the things there, walking at Pretty Paul. You know, Jamaicans, you know, you name it. They say they just come, but they're getting a lot of money. We hear all the time. That's what the Pretty Paul staff said. I know Guyanese know inequality when they see it. They know things unjust when they see. They know injustices when they see. They say, we haven't let the dung tool this morning. They said, that got for done. The nonsense got for done. Take a look. Take a listen. They said, the nonsense got to done. Yep. I want to give Pretty Paul kudos for the ethnic balance there in the employment. And that's a good poll right there. And everybody talking about the high cost of living. Can you imagine that? Good ethnic balance. Kudos to Pretty Paul for that. But all of them saying high cost of living. We need a little more money. That's electorate right there, you know. High cost of living. I want to call the local government election if they got the testicular fortitude. If Anil got the balls, including whoever is responsible for local government election. Quality date, the man, let me go down the road. No, they're running from it. They're running from it. We see local government elections in this country probably till next year. They're running from it. They're going to wait till the economy looking nice, and then you can hear a date is announced. That's what them bandits going to do. right? But pretty bad people saying, look, people who just come and doing the same job can't earn anymore. We don't care how shapely they be, you know, what's the bus size and all that. No. Equality, right? Equality. We got to get the same amount. The done stocks outside. That's why you all know. I mean the Central gone to Washington. The done stocks, folks. They're outside. Now look this man here, right? Look this fella here. Patterson left a proper road and they just broken it up. Right? People can build nothing. That's why I know it's Patterson Road. They haven't built a road yet since they come in. Not one road since they come in. If you can't fix the road right outside the house, he can fix the road by you. Right? So it's this story here now. This done stuck here. A whole road, folks. The text is wrong. Apologies there. The text is wrong. But a whole road is done stuck mashing up. Look story here. Take a look. Take a listen. Yep, so he's driving that high mag, that grade, or whatever you call it, on that road and just mashing up that good road. All right. We need to see some of these people pass through the courts. We need to hear that they have been instituted with a big set of fines and so on for being so silly. How would you in your common sense see that road looking so nice that I've no AFC bill and you will just drive that grader on it to break it up? That's the kind of madness. Maybe they get a contract and fix it tomorrow. Maybe that's why they do such stupidness. But finally, folks, before my guest comes, photo of the day. And this comes out of the NIS office in Linden. Them folks step up. The folks there, this is my barn tongue, you know. Rickford, where she was born in Linden, because you know a lot of good things come from Linden. But the folks looking really nice, they coordinate. Right? I don't know if it's because of the economy, they buy just one bale of cloth. Right? But I like how they did it. They did it real nice. Respect and manners to the NIS staff in Linden. They're looking real nice. You know, looking real nice. Y'all could make me a little thing and say, Duncan, hold this here. Right? So I could blend in. But y'all looking real good. So respect and manners to the staff and the staff at NIS in Linden. Linden people creative. Linden people creative. If you have to deal with the PPP the way Linden has to deal with PPP, you get creative. So you want to say respect and manners and happy emancipation. Folks, for the main event. The man of the hour. Y'all know when he come here is trouble. Right? When he come here is trouble. Rickford, how are you doing tonight, my brother? A very good evening. Welcome.
Good night. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. I want you to steady up yourself so the people can see how handsome you are and how dapper you're looking and so on. Nothing less will do, Rickford. Nothing less. So, Rickford, welcome. Folks who are joining us, share the live. Smash that emoji button. Rickford and his organization, the Caribbean Guyana Institute for Democracy. Am I calling it right? CGN, yes. Rickford is the president there in New York. They've been working. Y'all know that they've been working, and they've recently written a very important letter to a U.S. official. Now, when Rickford them said they're going to write you or write about you, you're in problems, right? They're in problems. They don't bluff. So they wrote to the Attorney General, right? Rickford?
Yes.
About some of the foolishness happening and about the Attorney General here seemingly doing some things on Twitter, trying to procure the FBI. That's what we're hearing, allegedly, to do some foolishness. Talk to us about that, Rickford. What are you hearing at your end? What's happening there?
Mr. Duncan, thanks for having me. Good night to your listeners. Before I want to make comments about the pretty poor ladies. They all have on the same shoe. They look well coordinated there. I like it.
Boots on the ground.
And then the NIS photograph. I think I see some people from Georgetown in that photograph, Sharon. They're not all from Linden. I'm pretty sure I made up 2 people in there from Georgetown.
You really think so?
Yeah. I'm seeing somebody from Georgetown right there. I'm not gonna call the person's name.
But the folks tell us is Linden. It's if we're wrong, we apologize.
They might be working in Linden, but I'm seeing somebody from town there.
I know if you're trying to say Linden don't have beauties. I won't have you.
No. I'm saying not everybody, because you're picking up Linden. I'm saying not everybody in that photograph is from Linden, I think.
You see anybody from Bartica? You see
I
anybody from
didn't see
Bartica?
anybody from Martinique.
Thankfully.
But
Yeah,
to,
Rickford,
to
talk,
answer your
talk to us.
question, we have a very troubling development where the Attorney General, who I think is a diabolical racist, who has been going after people who criticize him and criticize the government, including me, because he thinks he has some sort of superpower, and because he's been involved in all sorts of criminal activities, allegedly involved in all sorts of criminal activities, and have gotten away with it. The fact that he was being prosecuted for stealing government assets and he was not. The process was discontinued by the DPP. We believe he thinks that he has gained some sort of entitlement to be abusive and disrespectful to Black people. And you'll recall that during the recount, coming down to the end of the recount, he issued a statement threatening me with extradition because I criticized him and called for an investigation into the murder of Courtney Cumming. And I will insist until I die, we must have justice for Courtney Cumming. It's unfortunate that there's never been a proper investigation. But the Attorney General's chambers under the David Granger administration and the Ghana Police Force confirmed to us who were the people suspected and investigated, and the Attorney General was one of them. Now, we have been speaking out in the diaspora. He's been attacking me all the time. But you remember Granny from Beirut Bridge sent a trouble answers? Well, I am ready to take him on anywhere, anytime. And so what he has been doing now is violating US law. He has been trying to get US law enforcement to come after people in the diaspora who criticize him and whom he sees as personal or political enemies. That's a violation of US law, a criminal violation of US law. And so he has been abusing his position, his office as Attorney General, to ingratiate himself with US law enforcement and to get them to target us in the diaspora. We don't care how much he tried to solicit the FBI to investigate us. We don't care, we're not criminals, we don't break the law. The criminal is Mr. Anil Nanlal. And he was a criminal defendant at the time, in a criminal court at the time he was appointed Attorney General. He has never been exonerated. The Guyanese people must know that. Now, so what he has announced that he has done is lie to the FBI and told them that we in the diaspora, Black leaders and Black talk show hosts, including Rickford Burke, have been inciting racial hostility in Guyana and domestic terrorism. I think he thought that when he used the word terrorism, he would have excited the members of US law enforcement. But we live in this country. In this country, there's a rule of law. In this country, law enforcement is not allowed to abuse the powers they have. In this country, law enforcement is not allowed to target people for political reasons. In this country, law enforcement is not allowed to target friends because, or opponents rather, of their friends because they have the power to do it. Apparently, Ms. Nanlal think that this is Guyana. Now, what he's definitely doing is transgressing the law. There's a specific law in the United States that bans governments and government officials from harassing, targeting, using law enforcement, using Interpol, using other measures to target their political opponents or personal enemies in the United States, let alone United States citizens. And we believe he has breached that law. Congress has made very specific provisions and penalties for that. And the law covers journalists, political activists, other nationals, dissidents, a whole category of people that you cannot do exactly what Mr. Nanlal is doing. And because of that, and because we have been looking at him for a very long time, and we were waiting for the right time to trigger that. It's called transnational repression. And we believe that he completely crossed the line when he put out that statement trying to use the FBI to target us. And so we discussed it with the US attorney, and the US attorney advised that write to the Attorney General And so 20 Guyanese organizations. Initially, it was 12. And once we made the announcement, people started calling us from all over the United States saying, my organization wants to join this. So we have now filed that official complaint under the Transnational Repression Act. It has to go to the FBI, and I'm pretty sure an investigation will commence. Now, not only did we write to the Attorney General, we copied that letter to the relevant people in charge of national security,
Yeah.
including including the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Homeland Security, the FBI Director, the Director of National Intelligence, because we also believe that the government of Guyana is engaged in espionage against members of the United States, citizens of the United States. So we are waiting for a formal response and the initiation of this investigation. We've copied it to members of Congress because Congress also has the power to do this investigation. Our members of Congress have assured us that there will be an investigation. Of course, every individual member of Congress can launch their own investigation, and then committees can launch their own investigations. And so we've alerted the Foreign Relations Committee, Homeland Security Committee, Caribbean Affairs Committee, and the Judiciary Committee. And so our members of Congress in New York, we've also asked them to make sure that the Biden administration initiates this investigation.
Yeah, we're picking up part of part of our coverage. Demar Wills have done some extensive reporting on this during the course of the afternoon, and they're saying as part of this this letter you would have sent to these various offices, we, the representatives of the below stated Guyanese American organizations, hereby respectfully request an investigation into the unlawful and nefarious attempts by the Attorney General Anil Nandlal to use the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation to target critics and personal and political enemies for revenge. That's what part of the correspondence says. And of course, as you articulated, this has been copied to several organizations, including the U.S. Secretary of State, the U.S. Homeland Security, Secretary of Homeland Security. You have here as well the Director of the Federal Bureau of Investigations, Director of National Intelligence, the Director of Western Hemisphere, and National Security Council. So a broad a broad set of organizations here aiming at wanting to stem this foolishness.
Right, and apparently Mr. Nandlal think he's all powerful and he's shameless to announce it. I don't think he's aware or was aware that he's breaching U.S. law when he did it. And under this law, the United States could charge you either in the country, in other words, they could go and bring you to the United States, or when you come here, you could be charged. And let's see where the investigation goes, but there will be an investigation. Because this is not an allegation we're making. He announced it. And the fact that he is so boldly dishonest to try to say that members of the diaspora are inciting, well, racial hostility is nothing. What's that? But inciting domestic terrorism, you know, what is that? And who is inciting domestic terrorism? And why doesn't he publicly say who are these people and cite evidence? In any case, whether or not we say anything that they don't like, that they consider domestic terrorism, we have a right to say, anybody in this country has a right to say anything. That's what the Constitution says. That's what the Constitution says. You know, we have a situation where at Golden Grove on the East Coast, in relation to the Quinton Bacchus murder, when the opposition leader pointed out that they compensated the market stall holders at Monrepo and didn't do the same thing for Golden Grove because those people were black, and they charged only the black officers when you had Indian officers involved in murder, to the extent where Justice William Ramlal himself said that Sergeant Lekram Ruplal incited Lance Corporal Denabraga to kill Quinton Bacchus. He is not being charged. And when the opposition leader said that, he announced that the opposition leader will be investigated for inciting racial hostility. In other words, they want to be racist. They think that they have a God-given right, a congenital right, some sort of inalienable right to be racist. And once you talk about it, they deem it unlawful because they think they're superior. There's this philosophy of governance that they want to govern by that says their Indian supporters are superior to black people or opposition supporters, so you can't denounce their racism. Well, I have news for him. We'll continue to expose the racism because in the diaspora here, we believe that based on our research, the PPP is the most brutally racist anti-Black government in the Western Hemisphere, and we will defeat them.
Great. Rickford, you know, some of what they've laid charges at verbally in terms of persons in the US, you know, they always say, oh, they hear people saying about burn down this and burn down that. Let's talk about what happened at Camp Street, you know. Robeson Ben was very quick to say, you know, elements in the US, elements in the US. And then about a day later, they come out and say, oh, was a prisoner in a cell with a wire, a lighter, and a sponge.
That's the breakdown police station. Breakdown.
And all of that he had confessed. And then the fellow said he never confessed, and we don't know, nothing has ever become of that issue. I mean, that multi-million, if not billion-dollar structure, they burned to the ground. And we don't know where that investigation is, where the prosecution is for that young man. Who the claim confessed, who said he never confessed to anything. That's number one. Number two, when the building that housed the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution and the Office of Professional Responsibility of the Police Force was burned. And again, we hear this refrain, person in the US and persons in the US, Robeson Ben. Now, it's been months since that building was razed to the ground. You had a report that was produced that Ben promised to make public. You know, months later, we don't know what were the causes of that. It's the strangest thing ever. You make these wild accusations, and then when you have a chance now to really show, right? Nothing.
It is a political strategy that their consultants have advised them to use, or they devised to intimidate us from speaking out. We live in a diaspora. One of the things we pointed out in the letter, Sherrod, is all of you Black talk show hosts on social media have been arrested, including yourself. And you're a member of parliament with certain immunities and protections. They don't even respect that because you're Black. Now, they think that because we have free speech in this country, and because they can't stop us, they can't kill us like Ronald Waddle and Courtney Cumming, and they can't arrest us like they did you. So they had to come up with a strategy to shut us up. And their strategy was to blame us for things in Guyana. Like a police officer told me he overheard Anil Nanlal, I'm gonna call his name, Anil Nanlal, discussing how to frame me, how to frame Rickford Burke with a crime in Guyana. Now, I wish that he would go ahead and try to do it, because all hell will break loose against him. But come back to the issue. They are trying to use US law enforcement to get to us so that we can stop criticizing them. And so someone, you were there at the rally, was singing a song and substituted the word Georgetown for the song, If the City Would Burn Down, whatever. And the person said some nonsense about if the city would burn down, if Georgetown would burn down, Jamestown, or whatever it is. But the person was being comedic. And so they decided to use that as a strategy to blame everybody in the diaspora for all the fires in Guyana. And they think that that is some reason for US law enforcement to come after people in diaspora. They're so stupid. There's a rule of law here. There are courts here. There are professional standards and procedures that US law enforcement has to follow. And second, this is a different country. We have different laws here. A violation of the law in Guyana is not a violation of the law here. In addition to that, Guyana's laws don't apply here. And even in Guyana, if somebody says that it's not a violation of the law, the person is being committed. But Sherrod, what it is that they have a political strategy, and they think that we will be intimidated from speaking out if they blame us with things like terrorism and burning down stuff. And they want to use those accusations to then try to harm us internationally by, for instance, putting out a wanted bulletin for me. Well, I have been told by the US attorney that the Guyana police force breached US law when they issue that bulletin, and that the person in the Guyana police force who directed the issuance of that bulletin could be subject to US prosecution.
Wow. Wow. Interesting times we're living in. We got to confront all of these issues, confront the PPP.
But one of the things, if I might add, Sherrod, I spoke to, I just want to get this out. I spoke to a member of the PPP government Some of them are in touch with me, and they don't agree with everything that is done. He said to me, "Oh, well, the U.S. government is not focused on the political wrangling that you guys are involved in New York. They frown on it." Well, the people that they talk with, I don't know who they are, but we deal with the policymakers. And I see them making a lot of noise about the fact that they met with a couple Black members of Congress.
I was coming there. Yeah.
I am appalled that it's something to celebrate when
Yeah.
they meet with a Black person. It tells you their thinking. It tells you that they feel alienated because of their racism. And so they must celebrate when they feel a Black person of standard and stature in the international community has embraced them. And they are so dishonest that they issued a statement today. The Office of the President issued a statement today saying that the Congressional Black Caucus hosted a dinner for them. It was a lie. It was 2 members of the Congressional Black Caucus and 2 others came in, shook his hand and left. And Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee is very upset that they issued that statement because they're implicating her in a lie. The Congressional Black Caucus did not host a dinner for her finale. And Sherrod, she asked the Guyana embassy for them to issue a statement withdrawing that statement that the Office of the President issued. And they have not done that as yet. And up to tonight, they called me back to check to see if the government of Guyana issued a statement. And they're very upset. So you might see her intervening. The other thing I want to say, a lot of people were upset about the comments she made, praising the vision of her finale. She has said that she was unaware, completely unaware of the racism in the government, their racist policies, and their hostile acts towards Blacks in the diaspora. She has now said that in September, she will convene a meeting with Guyanese organizations here in the United States and other members of Congress to completely discuss and ventilate these issues, and that she will demand action from the Ali administration.
Yeah.
So I look forward to that intervention by the Congresswoman. And she also asked that I say that the words that she used today, her comments yesterday about the president, is in no way an endorsement of his government or his policies.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that. And you answered the question that I wanted to ask, and feel free to expand too. That this government is not their supporters. So much so the government has a Black people problem. They've left shade. They didn't even bother to swear in Mark Phillips, and they seem to be going out of their way to meet with a lot of Black leaders because they want to up their Black credentials, as it were. We met with Cory Booker. We've met with this senator from Texas. We've met with this man. We've met with that man. Almost going out of the. It seems but people can see through this madness. Rickford,
well, it's a very strange thing. They know that they're racist. They know that they are anti-Black. They know that they're the most racist government in the hemisphere. But they're not willing to correct that to really, truly represent one Guyana. They prefer to engage in cosmetics. They prefer to have a PR statement put out saying, "Oh, we love all Black people and we're looking out for Black people." But they're starving the regions where Black people live for funds. They are not giving Black people contracts. They're taking away contracts from Black people. They're giving cash grants only to East Indian people. They're giving agriculture grants to East Indian people. They're running around the country giving business grants. In Region 6, Region 3, Region 2, $250,000 they're giving to East Indian supporters as grants to start business, but they're not giving to the Black people in Boston. They rather go to Boston and say, "Oh, submit your proposals and we'll look at it," but they're not giving these things to Black people. And because of the criticism, right, that they're receiving, especially from members of Congress here, they're saying, "Okay, we have to go to Washington and chase down all the Black people we could find and take a photograph and say, yes, these Black people love us and we love Black people too." It's the Republican way. That's what Republicans do, right? They have all these racist policies, but then every time they catch a one Black man, they take a picture quick and say, "Oh yeah, we love Black people." And that's the same thing our finale is doing. I find it very appalling, very disgusting. It's almost stupid that they are all over the internet celebrating that they took a picture with Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee or with Gregory Meeks. Well, Gregory Meeks is a whole different case.
Maybe.
they are so desperate to show that they can take pictures with black people that they even photoshopped a photograph with Vice President Kamala Harris standing next to our finale when the woman had a telephone call with him. They are not highlighting the fact that the Congresswoman OAC from New York refused to meet with them last night. They're not highlighting the fact that the Congressional Black Caucus head refused to meet with them. Congressman Hakeem Jeffries refused to meet with them. And let me stick a pin right there. The congressman has said, Congressman Hakeem Jeffries from New York has said that they must change their racist policies. They must govern the country for everybody, and they must honor the equal protection provisions of the law. They said he's talking nonsense. They're opposed to that. But they want to meet with him. He hasn't met with them. So guess what they did? They tried to get the US ambassador to schedule a meeting, like if the congressman is stupid, right? But the fact of the matter is, if you want to meet with black elected officials in this country, you must govern equitably. You're insulting their intelligence when you try to just take a picture.
I want to talk about that. Yep. So maybe they're on a campaign to collect WhatsApp numbers and that kind of stuff, right? Maybe that's a campaign they run. But I think you hit the nail on the head. Maybe they're trying to impress the U.S. Secretary of State, who issued a very strong statement among other U.S. leaders. And part of what the U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said was that they ought to strengthen transparency, right? And they're looking forward to shared prosperity and inclusive growth. Those things have a lot of meanings there, Rickford. A lot of meanings. You want to see shared prosperity, inclusive growth, and strengthen transparency. Safeguard the environment. That's the red line.
And exactly, and the vice president issued a statement calling for inclusive democracy, which is inclusive governance. And let me say, a lot of people probably don't understand what is inclusive growth. Inclusive growth is that you must govern in such a way that the economic prosperity of a country benefits everybody. And there's a theory that if it's not, it's going to lead to unrest and a destruction of the country. And that's what the US government is worrying about. And my understanding is that the US government has called on the government of Guyana to stop their racism and govern equitably. I understand now that as a result of our intervention with this Congressional Black Caucus lie that he told, that Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee is now going to talk about reparations in Guyana, where she wants to say reparations doesn't necessarily mean payment for something, it's an atonement, right? So she wants to bring everybody together at a summit in Washington. And let's see if that's going to happen, because it seems as though the policies for Guyana have to be determined externally in the United States before the PP government could respect it. They only respect white people. Imagine they're running to go to Washington to meet with Cory Booker, Sheila Jackson Lee, and Gregory Meech, black people, but they're refusing to meet with the black leaders in Guyana because they don't have any respect for us. They're contemptuous of us. Look, for example, we have the kings and queens from African countries in Guyana. You see anything from the government welcoming them? No, they're contemptuous of black people. I understand that they're
dinners. Any state dinners?
Well, I understand that there's a state dinner coming up, but I don't want to preempt anything. But they, even their ethnic media are so contemptuous of black people. I don't see them welcoming, highlighting the fact that you have African kings and queens here who control millions and hundreds of millions of people through tribes. They're not recognizing them. But you think if Prince Williams or Prince Charles or Prince Philip or any one of the other white royals from London were there, they would worship them. They would kiss their feet, right? Because they are contemptuous of black people and they worship white people. But they want to meet and mingle and engage black people of influence around the world, like heads of government like Mia Markley or the Secretary General of the Commonwealth.
You must have influence.
The black people with influence, yes, because they want to show the black people in Guyana, oh, even though we don't like you, you don't like us, we can rub shoulders with black people outside of Guyana.
Sad. That's a very sad place to be. Rickford, it seems as though the Americans have been talking to the people for a very long time, and you're there. You have a better handle on things than us here. We in the minutia every day. You guys out there, you see the big picture. Is the people prepared to listen? the Americans seem to be drawing a red line in the sand. And we can look back from what the Secretary of State have said, what the Vice President has said, and what other leaders have said. There is an Ariadne thread that runs through all of it. Let's take, for instance, Hank Johnson, who spoke to them about a year ago. Hank Johnson says Guyana's wealth is for all the people of Guyana, irrespective of ethnicity. He went on to say, I urge the current government and leaders of the opposition and National Assembly to work together for strengthening Guyana's democracy and building a more inclusive nation. This sounds as though something that Blinken could have said yesterday. All of them got the same team. Let's take Albio Series. He said the very same thing. In Guyana, we should work to ensure that the proceeds of the oil revenue benefit the entire nation. Rickford, is the people prepared to listen?
Well, not only those people. USAID said the same thing with the call for inclusive governance of the country's resources. The government issued a statement rebutting that, challenging it, opposing it. The government has issued a statement opposing all of those views expressed and articulated there by those U.S. officials. Hank Johnson from Georgia, Albino Series from New Jersey, Hakeem Jeffries, Eva Clark. They have opposed every one of them. They have never said, well, we are taking into stock what you say. We're consulting with our people. We want to see reconciliation. No, they believe in total dominance and destruction of Black people and our Black culture. So they are opposing equitable governance. What the hell is there to oppose about governing equitably? That's what the Constitution requires the government to do.
All the money we got.
Right? So what are they opposing? It is their innate congenital philosophy that that the Indians in Guyana must exercise dominance. Do you hear? And one of the things I want to point out, the FBI agents came to Guyana to talk about money laundering and transnational crimes. The Attorney General was not concerned about that.
Yeah.
Why? Because those people that the U.S. government is targeting, some of them currently on investigation, you and I know that, are financiers of the PPP.
Yeah.
Right? Some of them, you see the same Attorney General in their business establishments. So it is ironic that the government has to go to these people when they are the ones propping up the money launderers and the people smuggling gold.
Yeah.
But you are not hearing the Attorney General talk about that. You're not hearing him talking about the people going on social media calling for you and I to be killed, calling for our heads, calling for David Granger to be killed, Joe Harmon to be killed, Aubrey Norton to be killed, calling for Cameron Ramchan to be killed. You're not hearing them talking about them calling us niggers, which is against American law. It is easy. Those committing hate crimes from the PP support base, it's easy for the FBI to go to them. Why doesn't Narala tell the FBI target them? They're the ones on social media committing crimes on the U.S. law, but they're not doing that because they countenance it. They want those people to attack us. They want those people to threaten us. So, but coming back to the point you're making is they are opposed to equitable governance. And any political party that is racist and opposed to equitable governance, Sharad, has no place being in government, and they must be defeated. They must be defeated. Come hell or high water, they must be defeated. And I hope the electorate of Guyana is understanding that they have the power through their vote to defeat these people. And we have to always remember, these people do not believe in equitable governance. It therefore means they don't believe in equality and they don't believe in justice. They believe in ethnic superiority. And in Guyana, which is a multiracial, multicultural country, they can't be the government.
Yeah. You know, Rickford, as we wrap up, we got thousands of folks who are watching us around the world this evening, and we want to encourage them to share the broadcast so that others get this valid and credible information. Y'all don't just keep it to yourself. Y'all come to see how nice Rickford look and hear the things that he said and so on. That's very important, but others must hear it as well. And so we encourage you guys to share. Rickford, what led the Americans to drag the Fanali government up to the U.S.? You know, Starbuck News reported very early, a few months ago, that Blinken was coming here. And then when he got a sense of what was happening with the foolishness and all of the money laundering and everything that ultimately proved them right, that Jagview and them were involved in, then he said they can drag them up and you know, like the bad students going to the principal's office. What do you think was the straw that broke the camel's back?
I think the U.S. is concerned about three things. One, is the China influence. And not only the China influence, but the corruption of China. We saw the recent Vice News episode that implicated the Vice President, Marjane, one second, in corruption, where he's supposedly involved in alleged bribe taking to the tune of 500,000 US dollars per Chinese investor. That's a lot of money. In this country, you'll go to jail for life for taking that kind of bribe. And the US is concerned that American companies are probably involved in bribing US Guyana government officials. And I'm pretty sure somewhere along the line, you're going to see some sort of investigation about that. Because I know that our members of Congress is looking into it. And I could also say that our members of Congress plan to talk to the investors, US companies investing in Guyana, about this. Also, you have complaints about racism and corruption. And the US government is hearing that. Don't forget, you have a Black person, an African-American, who's now the Assistant Secretary of State for the Western Hemisphere. He's not going to sit back and turn a blind eye to racism in Guyana. The Vice President of the United States that spoke about inclusive democracy, which means no racism, is not going to sit back and allow a racist government to emerge, basically, that practices apartheid governance in Guyana, right in the backyard of the United States. And also, I think that there's a worry about the embassy in Guyana, and we believe that the United States embassy in Guyana is not engaged in honest communication with Washington. Somehow, it is hard for me to believe that the Vice President of the United States is issuing statements talking about inclusive democracy. The Secretary of State is issuing calls for inclusive growth, which means sharing the wealth of the country as the country develops. Yeah. And the American ambassador has never said anything about that. She has never once condemned the inequities in Guyana, inequities in the economy, inequities in the way the country is governed, inequities in justice, inequities in the political, nothing. She has never called for inclusive governance. She has never called for equitable governance. She has demonstrated that she supports and countenances the racism and the racist policies and practices of the PPP. She has ingratiated herself into them. She acts like if she's the ambassador to the East Indian population. And I'm happy I saw in the news that she has been reassigned. Good riddance.
I was coming there.
Well, good riddance to her. I think that she is a divisive figure in Guyana. She is polarizing. She has contributed to the division and racial hostility, because she is in a position to be an honest interlocutor, an honest broker. As a member of the ABC caucus of ambassadors, she played that role to get rid of the APNU-AFC coalition government when she claimed that she is only concerned about the adherence to the rule of law. Well, we're seeing that the PPP is not adhering to the rule of law. We're seeing the PPP being racist, and she seemed very comfortable with it. No other ambassador, US ambassador in the world, would be in a country and see this level of inequity, see the injustice, see police killing people and the government defending them and issuing false statements and not say anything. She is so ingratiated herself with them. To me, she feels that she's a part of them. And when an ambassador has become so controversial, so ingratiated with one side of the political spectrum, it's time for them to go.
Yeah, and it's very sad that you really couldn't tell the ambassador from the government sometimes in her actions and in her.
It's very sad. And we want to know whose side is she representing? Is she representing the United States? Or she's representing the interests of the PPP?
Very much so. Coming out from the Sugate issue, you would have expected to see a lot of distance between her and them. But there's she photographed laughing and smiling up, and so it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. But we understand how these things work.
I think with a new ambassador, whenever that is, whenever there's a new ambassador, you will begin to see changes. It is unusual. I want to stress that. It is unusual that we have the level of corruption we have in Guyana, the level of racism, the level of injustice and refusal to ensure social justice by a government, and the U.S. Embassy is silent. We see the United States Embassy as a beacon of hope and democracy and justice in the country. And under this ambassador, it has failed to fulfill that mission.
Yeah. And that's tremendously sad. Folks, I'm privileged to have Rickford on with me this evening, and we got thousands of you. It's just after 9 o'clock, and we got over 5,000 of you listening and watching us. I'm gonna be ambitious and ask at least 500 of you. I'm gonna be ambitious and ask at least 1,000 of you to share the live and let other folks be able to benefit, know what's happening in this country. You know, we would like to think everybody know where this country is, but the more folks who understand the human rights transgressions that are happening here, the better it is for us. And so, folks, you know, I'm going to use the opportunity as Rickford is here to views y'all out and say, coming up on Tuesday is boots on the ground at the Burnham Court there, and we're expecting to see all of you folks. That's some. We want to see all of you guys out there, boots on the ground. We ain't playing. We're not playing at all, folks. We fired up and we're ready to go. Rickford, your thoughts?
and Bashir, before I talk about the rally, I want to encourage everybody to go out and celebrate Emancipation.
Yes, correct.
The African Guyanese population and the African Guyanese culture is under attack by the sweeping government. I was appalled when I saw that the government is sponsoring, through the Ministry of Youth and Culture, sponsoring Juve on the eve of emancipation, such a sacrosanct celebration of the end of slavery. And I think what it is it's a disrespect that they have for Black people, and the fact that they want to dilute our culture, to me, decimate it. And I think it's a disgraceful thing. And the Black promoters, I've spoken to some of them. They didn't understand the importance of emancipation and how not to desecrate it. And the fact that the Ministry of Culture doesn't even understand that they will sponsor Juve. And I want to educate our people. Juve derives from slave owners mocking slaves and celebrating them in harvesting cane in burning cane fields. So, and then the slaves, once they started to rebel, started to mock the slave masters, mocking them. That's the origin of Juve. It is therefore offensive to our ancestors and our culture to have a Juve in the middle of, or at the commencement of an emancipation celebration and those kinds of things. What I want to see is those promoters utilizing the opportunity at Emancipation to work with ACDA to have these big events, but it must all be connected to the African culture, a celebration of our culture. You could have a beach party, but let the beach party be an enactment of the arrival of the slaves. If you want to have some other event, the event must promote the African culture. We must have educational events where we teach people about the innovation of the slaves. The slaves are the first ones in terms of Black culture or in Guyana to introduce banking, because they pooled their money and put it in a wheelbarrow, went and bought Victoria Village and Buxton Village and so on. The innovation, they invented trade by bartering. So let us have educational events. Let us have cultural events that uplift, celebrate, and reinvigorate the African culture and not diminish it.
Well said. Well said. Well said. Folks, we invite all of you down on Tuesday. This is our final program. And I'm not even certain we're going to have a program on Tuesday night, because Monday's a holiday. We're not going to have programs on Monday. But on Tuesday night, depends on how Tuesday evening goes. We might just incorporate our program into what's happening out there on Burnham Court and that rally. But of course, we're inviting all of you folks. We want real boots on the ground. We ain't talking it. We want the real thing. Boots on the ground on Tuesday. Burnham Court there, or the promenade, not the promenade, the parade ground there. Just off parade ground, there's Burnham Court. We're going to be meeting there. and we're gonna be discussing a couple of things. That's Ground Zero, folks. So inviting you guys out there. And I really want to thank Rickford for joining me this evening. I'm answering my call whenever I pick up the phone and say, you're on this evening. You don't say anything. He said, yes, good.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Great. Folks, that's our time this evening. That's our program. That's my time. And that's our program. Share the live, folks. Share the live and smash that emoji button. Share the live. Smash that emoji button for us. Let others get credible and valid information. Remember to partner with us as well, folks. Remember to partner with us as well so that we can meet all our monthly responsibilities to keep our programs going. You all know we're available via Zelle and PayPal. We're available via Cash App. We're available via MMG, MoneyGram and Western Union as well. You need any guidance, folks? 627-6963. That's our WhatsApp number, 627-6963. Thanks for spending this time with us. We're going to see you guys on Tuesday, but over the weekend, we have our podcast. We're going to see you guys there as well. On our podcast over the weekend, and then we have the whole Monday off with all the programs, and then we're back on Tuesday. Yep. See you soon, folks. That's my time. Share the live. Smash that emoji button for us, and let me go down the road. Partner with us as well. Share the live, good folks. Are we there yet? Share the live, folks. Share. We want valid and credible information all around. Share the live, folks. Smash that emoji button. We still got a little way to go, folks. If you haven't shared us yet, do so before you go. And have a great weekend. See you guys tomorrow on the podcast. Below the belt. Thanks for joining us in the ring this evening. That's our time, and that's our program. Stay safe, folks. Stay safe.